WXII 12 News at 11 starts right now.
The Dixie Classic Fair is over, but talks of changing the name are not. I'm Brandon Bates, live at the fairgrounds tonight with what that name will likely be and how much it'll cost.
Authorities in Guilford County tonight are opening up about 2 deadly shootings involving deputies that occurred just 8 hours apart.
And the fourth Democratic debate taking place in Ohio. For some of the highlights, we're going to bring it to you first. But we begin in Winston-Salem, where there is a new proposal for what to call the Dixie Classic Fair once the old name officially becomes a thing of the past.
Yes, indeed. Proposed name change tonight by a council member could be voted on and become official as soon as Monday. Let's go to Brandon Bates. He joins us now with details on what this proposed new name might be and how the whole process is going to work. Brandon.
Well, we've been talking about this name change for months now, and there have been so many different steps to get to where we are. Now we are one step closer to having a final answer on what that name will be. After months of discussion, the Dixie Classic Fair is one step away from officially being renamed.
Today we voted on what the name will be.
The name change, which was met with some backlash from the public, was at the center of discussion at a committee meeting on Tuesday. Councilman Robert Clark made the motion for the name to be changed to the Carolina Classic Fair.
I think it represents the heritage of the state, and it's inclusive of a larger area than just Forsyth County.
Councilwoman Denise Adams has been pushing to rename the Dixie Classic Fair and says it was a slow and methodical process, but she's happy this change will likely happen.
The names Carolina and Classic to me are no different than Winston and Salem when they came together.
While the council is glad the name will be more inclusive, some say the long process has taken some focus off of other city issues.
I'm excited we're getting it behind us. I think it's something that we need to get done and move on to other issues that we have.
Officials say they need to act as fast as possible to get the ball rolling on the rebranding process. That process will cost just under $100,000, and the money will come from the fair fund, money the fair has brought in over the years. And that money will be used to repaint the grandstand, replace the signs, as well as pay for marketing and advertising. And City Council will vote on that new name coming up on Monday. And if it is approved by the members, that name change will go into effect in 2020. Reporting live in Winston-Salem, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
All right, thank you so much, Brandon. The State Bureau of Investigation is taking the lead in 2 deadly shootings less than 24 hours apart, both involving Guilford County Sheriff's deputies. The Sheriff's Office identified the man who died during yesterday's standoff in High Point. Captain Brian Hall says that it all began when a deputy tried to serve Victor Jarvis an eviction notice around 8:30 in the morning at a home located on Braddock Road. He says that Jarvis pushed the deputy out of the house and then locked himself inside. They then heard a gunshot. When nearly 12 hours of negotiations failed, the department sent in a special emergency response team. The Sheriff's Office says that Jarvis shot 2 deputies, one in the jaw. The other was grazed in the arm, and investigators tell us that 3 other deputies shot and killed Jarvis.
Enormously stressful, and the stress is coming at you from all different directions. Every officer who wears this uniform hopes that something like this will never happen to them. They don't want to be shot. They don't want to shoot anybody else. We put this badge on to save lives, and we're very passionate about that, or we wouldn't do it. So it's stressful being on any scene where you know there is a very strong likelihood you may lose your life. There's also an extremely unbelievable amount of stress that you carry around knowing that you might be called to take someone else's life.
Hall went on to say that the deputy who was shot in the jaw will have surgery this week to remove the bullet.
Then about 8 hours after that, authorities responding to a welfare check in Jamestown ended up shooting and killing a man. Investigators say Dennis Patrick Jr. stepped outside of a home on Bales Chapel Road at about 3:30 this morning and opened fire on them. They say 1 deputy and 2 High Point police officers fired back. Patrick was killed at the scene. Neither the officers nor the deputy were injured in this case. Meanwhile, in Greensboro, police are looking for answers after they found a man's body next to a road. Officers say the victim here is 33-year-old Douglas Wheelis. He was discovered at about 8 o'clock this morning on Gillespie Street. They say he had been shot. It is unclear by whom or when.
Turning now to your local forecast, it may be a rainy morning at the bus stop for some. Let's get the very latest with Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope. How are we looking, Lainey?
Yeah, well, you know what? We've got at least dry streets out there right now, but wet streets tomorrow morning. You're looking at uptown Lexington, where rain is on the way. We've noticed the clouds rolling in all afternoon and evening, and right now we're at 60 degrees in Lexington, 62 in Greensboro, 59 in Winston-Salem, 54 in North Wilkesboro. Thick blanket of clouds overhead right now. Rain not too far to the south. We're getting a few showers already developing between Greenville and Charlotte. Plenty of wet weather down here, and that is all moving in our direction. So by early tomorrow morning, at least some patchy light rain, but could even see some heavier showers arriving. This is about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Steady rain is in the forecast, especially during the morning hours, and the temperatures will be in the 50s. So low 50s in the mountains, mid to upper 50s in the foothills and in the Triad. I'll be back to let you know how much rain we'll see and how cold the air will be behind this weather system.
Thank you, Lainey. Commitment 2020. Now the top 12 Democratic presidential hopefuls faced off in Ohio tonight. A crowded stage, a dozen people, the most ever for any primary debate.
Sally Kidd is live right now in Washington. And Sally, how did all of this play out?
Well, Talitha and Kenny, Senator Elizabeth Warren definitely a target tonight, reflecting her rise in the polls. Elizabeth Warren taking the heat, pinned down for specifics on Medicare for All and whether middle-class taxes will go up.
Costs will go up for the wealthy and for big corporations, and for hardworking middle-class families, costs will go down.
A yes or no question that didn't get a yes or no answer.
Taxes will go up.
At least Bernie's being honest here.
Warren again on the defensive over her wealth tax proposal.
Why does everyone else on this stage think it is more important to protect billionaires?
I want to give a reality check here to Elizabeth, because no one on this stage wants to protect billionaires.
Sometimes I think that Senator Warren is more focused on being punitive.
I'm really shocked at the notion that anyone thinks I'm punitive.
Joe Biden facing questions about son Hunter's business dealings overseas, the focus of attacks by President Trump.
My son did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong.
On foreign policy, disagreement over Syria.
You can put an end to endless war without embracing Donald Trump's policy.
Will you end the regime change war is the question.
But the candidates all agreeing on the need to impeach the president.
He has committed crimes in plain sight.
The president has left the Congress with no choice.
They have no choice but to move.
Now, Bernie Sanders, who had a heart attack a couple of weeks ago, responded to a question about his health by saying he is mounting a vigorous campaign across the country, and that is how he is reassuring voters of his fitness to serve. Live in Washington, Sally Kidd. Now back to you.
Sally, thank you very much. Tonight, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is announcing the impeachment inquiry is pushing forward without a full House vote to authorize it. President Trump and Republicans have been demanding a vote, saying without one, they don't plan to cooperate. Also today, the Vice President Mike Pence, the president's personal attorney Giuliani, and the Defense Department all announced they do not plan to comply with a subpoena for documents. 3 House committees heard from a top State Department official on Ukraine today, and tomorrow, a senior advisor to Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who resigned last week, is set to go against the wishes of the White House and testify. Republicans in the middle of all this continue to stay on message.
We know the president was worried about corruption in Ukraine. It's this rush to judgment that I object to.
There is no excuse for this incident. That's what the police chief in Fort Worth, Texas, is now saying about the police officer who shot and killed a woman in her home on Saturday. The chief is also asking the outraged community to not let the actions of one officer reflect on the other 1,700. Aaron Dean was charged with the murder of Tatiana Jefferson hours after he resigned from the department. Officers were initially responding to a welfare check after a neighbor saw her front door open and called the non-emergency number. Dean never identified himself as an officer before firing one shot, killing her right in front of her 8-year-old nephew. Dean has posted bond.
In New Orleans, the situation has not changed for the better at the site of a deadly building collapse. Crews are continuing their search for a missing person. The entire structure remains unstable tonight. Authorities say now the weather is causing another problem on top of everything else they've been dealing with. Experts still haven't come up with a viable plan to stabilize that building or the 2 damaged pieces of construction equipment, cranes, nearby. Now they're worried wind and rain could end up leading those cranes to topple onto neighboring buildings. At least 2 people were killed when the Hard Rock Hotel, which had been under construction, collapsed on Saturday. There is 1 body still inside that building.
Cambia Health Solutions has officially ended its pursuit of a partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina. That's according to the Portland Business Journal. The decision comes 1 week after Blue Cross's former CEO, Patrick Conway, was convicted of DWI and child abuse after a traffic incident back in June. Cambia is based in Portland and had put their partnership plans on hold after news of his arrest that happened last month. Actress Felicity Huffman is spending her first night in a federal prison. She'll spend 14 days locked up for her role in a massive college admissions scandal. Huffman admitted that she paid someone to correct her daughter's SAT scores. She is serving her sentence at a low-security federal prison in California, and Huffman also has to pay a $30,000 fine and perform 250 hours of community service.
Former Wake Forest volleyball coach Bill Ferguson is also charged in this investigation. Federal agents say he got $100,000 to help a wait-listed student who was not an athlete get into Wake as a volleyball player. He has pleaded not guilty.